Hey everybody, I'm Amy,
And I'm Nicole.
and this is 9 to 5 Nightmares.
We talk about misconduct so you can avoid it.
And so this week's misconduct is let's ring the bell. We've got more healthcare coming in, which
Yeah.
really it surprised me that this is going on. So we've got healthcare workers taking photos of patients again. So Nicole, you know the thing that was really interesting to me was how the hospital chose to handle this. So everyone will be interested to hear this.
Yeah. So the hospital found the photos first and then tried to secretly pay off the patients. And there was not one, not two, but at least three patients have come forward since then and offered them a lot of money, like at least $50,000 each, and wouldn't even show them the photos. They said that they were too horrible to show them.
And they were also asking for them to sign paperwork.
Right. NDAs.
Yep. And also sign paperwork that allowed the hospital to have and take the photos without even showing them the photos. So this was just an incredible moment. And did I get that right? That was how I read it. Did you read it that same way? Or
No, so the way that I read it was that this was a person, like a staffer that went rogue, took the photos, posted them on their social media, and then the hospital was like fired the employee when they found it, but then was trying to like cover it up so it didn't
with just a non-disclosure
explode
agreement.
and payment. Right. And so
Right.
instead that at least two of the patients went to an attorney and they're now pursuing legal action, which
Yeah.
rightfully so in that case. Like that is, if it's too horrible to show, I can't even imagine the violation they must feel.
So this is one of the things that I think is so inappropriate because to think about it, if you're someone who's had a medical procedure done before and you've been put under, right? Like you have no awareness at all whatsoever
No,
and you're also expecting a level of privacy and also safety, right?
100%.
And in the past, it used to be like, I don't know if you're aware of this, but like people's jewelry would get stolen and things like that, right? And so one of the things you're not supposed to do is wear any kind of jewelry, not even just for whatever medical purposes is, but so it doesn't get taken. But this you can't protect yourself from. Like there's
Right.
nothing that you can do to prevent it. So
On
it's
the patient side,
complete,
right,
right, it's
exactly.
complete like honor system. So it concerns me that we're finding out about this because it's almost like what's all the instances that we don't know about that.
Right. Like if at least three patients have come forward so far claiming that this happened to them, how many more are
Yeah.
going to come forward?
And
How many
and how many
more
people
don't
have been
know?
photographed too
Right.
that aren't aware and the hospital hasn't found out yet. So
Right.
this is amazing. And I think too, just goes to the point of really the things that people are doing and what they're posting.
Right.
And then, now we're going from hospital workers to police officers again,
Yes.
who had social posts that were put up that were just completely misconduct related. I didn't get do we have any indication of what these posts may have been or anything? Because
So
it didn't
the
seem to say
police,
that.
yeah, the police chief said that they were immigration related, that they violated department values and culture and professional conduct. But she was like, I don't even want to say what they were. We just saw them and took action. Um, and what was also reported, by the way, was this wasn't even the first time that this officer had been disciplined for social media misconduct because he had also had other instances of him sharing inappropriate department violations online from years ago. So this is a reoccurring instance with
And
him.
the interesting part is, and what we know from other screenings that we've done is that people who do this kind of behavior online,
Right,
they'll then go to another community. They'll go somewhere else and apply
right.
for the same jobs. Like we saw this with the infamous ambulance person who
Yeah,
had been drinking, stole an ambulance, hit people with an ambulance, and then lost his job, then was applying to be an ambulance driver somewhere else. And this came up
Right.
in his Fama check. So, like this is like another piece of this, especially for those in law enforcement. And I will say this, like we've definitely seen the increase in screening from law enforcement over the course of the last 18 months. And it's not
Yeah.
surprising because we've also seen the rate of public incidents that we're reporting on coming up. And I mean, reporting on, talking about in this podcast, talking about
Right.
in our misconduct in the news. We're almost at a point where I think every other month we're having an incident with some kind of police officer. I think, was it last month was the one that was the
Oh,
OnlyFans
the
one?
OnlyFans? Oh my God.
So for those of you that listen regularly, last month we had a police officer who was on duty recording an OnlyFans video for his OnlyFans channel and got
In
arrested
uniform.
in uniform. Yeah, yeah. So, oh my goodness. And then let's go into the last one. I mean, this one is super, super serious, right?
Yeah.
So it involves,
And really close to home for both of us, might I
I
add.
know. I know. Well, why don't you tell everybody what it is? Because it's just
Yeah.
it's a very intense.
Yeah, so this was another instance where a an employee, former employee, was making threats against coworkers on social media, and thankfully, the security team found the post and alerted law enforcement and literally arrested the person after she had bought a gun.
And here's the crazy part is that this person was saying things to the effect of, I'll drive faster and I'll get that gun. Every single person who follows me or shows up will die a horrible death. I want
Yeah,
everyone around me to die immediately.
yeah,
And this was all of this language was towards former colleagues on the social
yeah.
media platforms.
At a major financial services firm, might I add. So
Yeah,
this was not some big place where you would traditionally see violence, unfortunately, like retail or hospitality. This was a financial services firm, a financial services professional that was making these threats and taking these actions
yeah, and it was amazing that they were alerted and knew that this was going on and were able to take action. And just for people who don't have the context, retail workers have a higher rate of violence and gun violence towards them than police officers do
at work.
at
A
work.
higher homicide rate at work. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the
So
stat.
that's
When I read
that's
that, it's incredible.
it,
It's
yeah, it
incredibly
really is.
sad, but just hard to
And
believe.
so to put that context in there, I think is important. But these are the kinds of things that we talk about, and it doesn't go without mentioning that Fama prevented a workplace shooting.
Yeah, we had a very similar instance where we were
Yep.
screening somebody and um
A manifesto came up. The employer was alerted. The police were alerted. The investigation took place very rapidly, and
yeah,
everyone was very concerned because according to the investigation, it was um, a very, very high risk situation, and that the actions that took place were probably pretty close to the moment where the person was ready to take action. So I think,
yeah,
this is when we talk about some of the funny things and then we talk about some of the serious things. But if you're an employer out there, the rate of behavior online that is misconduct behavior is significant. And if
yeah,
we're not screening your candidates, if you're not screening your current employees, and in response to this, we have a solution that came out this year, Fama Pulse, that gives you the ability to screen your employees on a regular basis. So,
yeah.
um,
I
you
mean,
know,
what's interesting too is that new data has come out that showed that almost all, like 96% of recruiters at this point, are saying that they would reject a candidate based on content that they found online. And 1 in 4 Gen Z candidates have said that they've been rejected due to their social media activity. But I think it's also important to know that none of these people that we're talking about in this episode are Gen Z. And so it's not just a Gen Z problem.
Oh,
It's
no, not at all.
it's a systemic problem across the workforce that needs exceptional consideration and action by employers.
Yeah, and I think that if you're someone that, is just thinking about, "Hey, I just need to screen my candidates," all
Right.
the instances that we talked about today were all instances of employees' behavior online and how
Or
that
former
impacted.
employees
Yeah,
who
and
are
how that
disgruntled as
impacted the
well. Right.
workplace. So, reach out to us if you wanna learn more. Contact us at fama.io. And it was great to talk with everyone today, and we'll be back again in a couple weeks with our next episode, and who knows what crazy thing that we're gonna be looking at. So, I'm Amy.
And
Oh,
this
yep.
and in lieu of Halloween, this is your reminder to have an appropriate costume
Oh, yes, we
because
always
we do
say this.
not want to be reporting on you
That's right, the
next
next one's gonna be
month.
great because it's gonna be Halloween costume time. Oh, goodness. Um So on that note, thanks everybody. This is 9 to 5 Nightmares. I'm Amy.
And I'm Nicole, and we talk about misconduct so you can avoid it.
Bye everybody.
Bye.